Hello, everyone. My name is Crystal, and my teammate is Mary, and our team name is Crystal Clear, the Mary Way. It's kind of cute. Thanks, Mary, for coming up with that. So here we are. My time log includes this week's work with the hyperlinks for the readings that I focused on, in addition to some screenshots hyperlinked with some work that I completed. So I'll walk you through this in a timely and efficient manner. So on Sunday, I spent much time reading through the Module 2 requirements. I spent time reading through that on Sunday and Monday, and I think a little bit again on Tuesday, just to make sure that I could grasp what was being presented. There's a lot of good information in here, and I just wanted to make sure that I understood everything. And so I took a lot of time towards the beginning of this week, just reading through and making an emphasis on the standards alignment. Even though we focused on that last week, I just wanted to make sure that I could have casual conversation when it comes to the QM and NSQ standards. I think I'm getting there. I'm not quite there yet, but I just wanted to make sure that I could understand that a little bit more, seeing that that's part of what we're doing for our modules. And then another thing that stood out to me this week that was part of my reading and viewing videos on it was learning tools interoperability. And I thought that that was quite unique. And yes, I was familiar with that before, but I never had the term ingrained in my brain, learning tools interoperability. But I do love the concept, and we're definitely dialoguing about how to incorporate that within our Canvas course. So we're very excited to show you later on in the upcoming weeks how we are integrating those different tools. As we go through my log, there's the beginning stages of our wellness course. Mary is a professor at Del Mar College, and I am, of course, a grad student, but I also work with families and individuals to help them stay organized and thrive. And so we put our heads together to try and create a program that would go with the ADDIE model and align with what we do on a weekly basis as professionals. And so here is something that I created for a family just to help them to be organized. We took a look at this, and then we decided that we wanted to create something about wellness, but also be able to tie that wellness into dental hygiene and dental health, because that is what Mary focuses on in her professional sphere. And so with that, we decided to create the program that we're working on right now that has to do with time management and wellness, and then making sure that it is incorporated with our instructional design adult learning theories. That's very important. Now, as it pertains to our assignment, we each worked on different modules. I'm focused on module 1 and 2, and Mary is focused on 3 and 4. And as we move through this summer semester, hopefully we'll get to module 5, and that one we'll do together, but you'll hear more about that later on. So modules 1 and 2, I went ahead in this graph and separated the QM and NSQ standards. And then of course, the tools that are being integrated only in module 1, hence why you only see ones here in this chart. And then how the assessments in module 1 align to the standards that are presented here. Now, in addition to working on the modules, we were also working on our syllabus, which is this. Now, right now we have about 15 pages, but it's still a working syllabus. We're trying to be as professional and as detailed as possible so that we can use this course, hopefully, and if we don't, we can use it as an example course for something in the future. And so we've been working on this all week, taking turns to make sure that we incorporate the right elements for it to be professional and organized. And it will be helpful for both Mary and myself, and also for the students who read it. We want them to feel comfortable joining our course and being prepared. So this is our working syllabus so far with our appendices at the end and our references for your view whenever it is that you decide that you'd like to take a look at it. Now I'm going to scroll back up. Hopefully it doesn't make you dizzy. So give me just a moment. There we are. All right. So as we continue on, I'll show you now module 2 for the standards that were created just for my module, and then how they align with the assessments that we are going to use. We have also, before I go to the slides deck, here's a video that I did. I think I linked it up here that I was just watching. It's one thing to read about learning tools interoperability, but then when you watch videos, it's just so simple how they explain it. So I just wanted to watch a video in addition to reading. There you see the modules 2. Here is our slides deck as required in our assignment. This is combination from week 1 last week, and then now week 2 we're still working together. Next week we'll have different partners, of course. So when you decide to view our slide deck, if you so choose, we'd really be happy that you do. We try to keep it as organized as possible so you can follow along, check out our time logs, you can check out our syllabus, and then you can log into our course. I'm going to put this in slideshow mode so that you can see the login information. You have access to our course underneath my email address. The course that we have created, I have a different email address for that. Hence, you can use this email address for our demo account. So we know that normally, unless you have a paid version of Canvas, you cannot show your course and make it public. So we did some research and realized that we cannot make our course public because it is under a free account. And so therefore we decided to create a demo account for you so that you can check our course out whenever you want to. So please use my Islander email address with the password demo_access. And then just log in, and then you can just look at the course. When you look at the course, please don't submit any content. It's only for viewing purposes. So we really appreciate you working with us with that. When you open the course, it will look something like this. I will go ahead and maximize that because you no longer need to see my log. It will look like this. And then we generated an image with a banana because Mary liked the banana man. And so here we just have an intro so that you can see. Welcome. We have a welcome page. We try to keep it as clean and as organized as possible. So hopefully you like that. And then we have a start here section. We talked about that last week, how the course we looked at didn't have that. So we want to make sure that we incorporate the things that we believe are best practices for instructional design. So you click start here, it will bring you to our syllabus that you can download. It actually goes to our modules when we have more things here, but it'll bring you back to our modules. I'll go back to the syllabus that you can download here. Click on it and it will open our syllabus that we have so far. Go back to the home page and then click on module 1. Now, I thought it was really important for us to explain to the learner why they see these standards table here. So that's what this information up here is about. And then Mary made sure to continue that in her course, but I will let her talk about that on her time. Thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to any feedback that you have for us. Mary, please go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And that way we can continue on. Okay, so I'm going to kind of change the tone just a little bit because Crystal kind of told you the majority of everything that we've all been doing, of course, with the NSQs and QMs, and we all know what we're doing with those standards and everything. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about how our module was created with Crystal's idea. She did show you that earlier on her page just a minute ago as far as how she had her idea. So, give me a second. I can't get this little black bar to ever go away. So I'm waiting for this little black bar to go away so I can show you her picture that she showed earlier. This is my log. And so I started on Sunday reading, basically trying to understand module 2. And then I went in and did a few of the courses through Canvas that you can just go and review a lot of different things. So I walked through a couple of things with syllabus. So when we were going through our syllabus, we can go over and making sure we had it in Canvas correctly and things that needed to be in there. I kind of viewed a few on gamification. So as I'm working on our modules, we can make sure that we have things that we want to be in there. Let me see if I can find it again because I'm not able to do that. So I need to find Crystal's beautiful work that she had. Here it is. Okay, so this is what inspired our idea. Okay, so from what I'm going to talk about now is let me know what we, excuse me, are going to share today. Okay, so the progress that we have for our module is based on the e-learning course from the Time Wellness. Excuse me. Pause that for a second. Okay, sorry about that little episode. So back to what I was saying is we were inspired by Crystal's work that she had talked about. And so this e-course titled Time and Wellness and Beauty, Building a Purposeful Life. This course was created, it was made to help individuals design lives filled with more peace and purpose and balance by offering general guidance in time management. So that caught our eye really well and trying to work this between her daily work that she does and with my work that I do. The time management was important and also incorporating health and spiritual connection, healthy for our dental students that we have here, and of course, spiritual connection for everyone. So the vision behind the project was to offer not just the productivity strategies, but also some soul nourishing and some rhythms and grounded in the biblical principles that she had already incorporated in her project on her holistic wellness. So this was a great idea that Crystal shared. So we were able to build this e-course. So the e-course, of course, is structured as she kind of covered with the syllabus. We covered it, we structured it into 5 modules. We worked on 1 and 2 for Crystal, which is going to be established with the Spiritual and the Wellness Foundation. Excuse me. And then I was working on 3 and 4, which is focused mostly on the time management and the daily rhythms and home care. And as Crystal mentioned earlier, we're working on 5. 5 is to come. So kind of let me walk you through 3 and 4 so you have an idea of how we're deciding how we're kind of going to be working on modules. So with our modules, we decided like for module 3, it's time blocking living. So we introduced a simple but powerful way to kind of manage time through blocking time and scheduling. So instead of trying to do everything by rigid hour by hour, we wanted to start scheduling it so the learners could be encouraged to actually follow through with their daily lives. So that not only works for Crystal's type of individuals, but also for my students. So that's why we found this to work really well. Then the other part with 3 is to also think about the routine and staying devoted to what we're doing. So we added the spiritual portion into there. So that's where we have our prayers. And now that we like to share time with our families and dedicate time not only to just our families, but to our schoolwork. So we're trying to combine all those ideas that it could be multi-universal use between for prayers in our healthy lives and also be able to do our schoolwork. So throughout the modules, we incorporated some scriptures, and that's what you'll see through some of these modules as well. So each module will have their own type of scripture. So that's what we kind of worked with in that. So that's for 3, and I'll show you, as Crystal had already told you, we applied our QM standards to meet and our NSQ standards to meet all the requirements that we are trying to fill in with our course idea. So we also worked on 2 different modules then, and so on 3 and 4, 4, just kind of give you a highlight, was also on weekly planning and home management. So that was also working with weekly theme planners, trying to do mental health load, trying not to have an overload with our mental health. So again, it correlates with both our types of careers that we have. So again, hence that's why we try to do this course together to make it work for either way. So it'll be universal. As far as my time log, I did go over, like I said, module 2. I walked through some of these courses that were really great on the Canvas site. And again, also reviewed a lot of the quality, the QMs and the NSQs, just to make sure everything matched. So we did a lot of reviewing from week 1, as Crystal mentioned before. Some of the other things that I did work on as well is on our Venn diagram. I did put that just on my time log as far as for Canva. And it's just work in progress. And my computer's a little slow right now, but you know, we did work with Bloom and Gagné. So we wanted to see how things were aligned. So I worked up a little Venn for us to put in there. You'll see later. We'll put it into our syllabus and or our Canvas module. Then we worked on breaking it down per each standard, and we broke it down also for each module by identifying the standards, making sure everything matched. And that's what we did a lot of our teamwork in, making sure everything was aligned. And as Crystal mentioned earlier, so it's like a repeat on that. And for my timeline, still to continue on that, basically collaborating, going over more and more of the Canvas modules and making sure that we had made everything work properly, because we want to make sure it worked out really well. So this is our course. I really hope you enjoy it. We worked really hard this week. We did a lot of hours and we did a lot of time on it. So we hope you really enjoy it, and please give us feedback, as Crystal mentioned. But that's kind of everything that's in general, like Crystal mentioned, that we're all kind of doing the same as far as the standards. We just wanted to do it a little bit more unique. So we thought it would be really awesome to do it in a way that it could be universal in different ways, not just education, but out of educational life. So thanks for listening.